Hello, my friends! I'm very much looking forward to today's project. I am going to show you how to draw a terrarium. If you're new to my channel, please be sure to stick around and check out my other art videos, art tutorials, and art lessons. I have so many super fun projects on this channel, Rainbow Parrot Art. And please support me by subscribing to this channel and liking this video. To start out, I'm grabbing an 11 by 14 inch piece of paper and a pencil. I'm using very light pencil marks to draw an oval shape where I want each of my terrariums to be. Don't worry, my pencil marks will get darker and easier to see in just a couple seconds. Now that I have lightly outlined the basic shapes and size of each terrarium, I'm going to go back and refine the shape a little bit using darker pencil marks. I'm adding an oval shape to indicate the opening of the terrarium. Then I'm going back and erasing the original pencil marks that I made. Notice how on this one, I'm drawing a flat edge for the base of the terrarium. Then I'm drawing a rounded glass jar above it. The opening of this terrarium is on the top, so I'm drawing a curved edge at the top. I'm adding the base that it's sitting on, then I'm going back and erasing my original pencil marks. You can see that I went back and adjusted the shape a bit. Now I'm drawing a large cork that's going to seal off the top. My third terrarium has a flat bottom and rounded sides with a neck that narrows at the top. I had to play around with my lines here to make them symmetrical. I'm adding a cork to the top of this bottle as well. Feel free to pause the video here if you need time to catch up. Now that I'm done drawing the basic shape of my terrarium bottles, I'm ready to start drawing the plants. I'm adding a small fern-like plant here in the corner, then adding a small shrub-type plant right next to it. I'm drawing a snake-like plant with long wavy leaves right behind my fern. Maybe you have other ideas about what kind of plants or things you might add to your terrarium. I'm adding a couple of leaves shooting up behind my shrub. In the background here, I'm drawing a cactus with a flower on top. The shape of this cactus reminds me of a snowman. My next terrarium will have a small flower in the foreground. I'm adding a succulent type plant over on the right. Now I'm drawing a patch of grass with round grass blades. Then over on the right, I'm drawing a little shrub. It might also be a patch of moss, who knows? I'm adding a big oval shaped cactus in the background behind the grass. And as you can see, it's got a little flower on top. I'm also adding rows of tiny flowers moving down my cactus. On the right behind the shrub, I'm adding a tall, skinny plant or two with rows of symmetrical leaves. For my third terrarium, I'm drawing a prickly succulent with pointy leaves. Then I'm adding a couple small overlapping patches of moss on the left. Above and behind the moss, I'm drawing a couple tiny shrubs. We'll call them shrubs. Who knows what they are? Behind this, there will be another plant with a smooth top edge, and then another shrub-like plant on the left. I'm adding some tiny flowers to my plant. I'm also adding some stems with circle-shaped flowers on top. Now that I'm done drawing, I'm going to start adding color. I'm using alcohol-based markers, but you could also use colored pencils or crayons or any other type of markers that you might have laying around. I've chosen a very light bluish gray for the background of my terrariums because I love the way it looks. I'm using a variety of green colors to fill in my plants. Whenever I grab a new color, I like to test it out on a scratch paper first to make sure that I like the color I'm using, because you can't always tell just looking at the cap of the marker. I'm using brown to fill in the soil, then adding some dark brown dots on top to give it a bit more texture. I'm coloring in the cork on top using a few different shades of tan and light brown. For the terrarium on the right, I'm again using a variety of different green colors. And I'm doing the same thing with my terrarium on the left. I'm done adding color, so I'm grabbing a thin black marker and using it to carefully outline my terrariums. Be sure to do this because it will really make them pop out. I love the way it looks. Now I'm using various shades of green and brown to add additional texture to my plants. Then I'm grabbing that black marker again and outlining each of my plants. I really love the way this makes my plants pop out. I hope you love how your terrarium drawing turns out. Please be sure to say hi in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And check out the other art lessons on my channel, Rainbow Parrot Art.